What up?
Friday edition. Friday edition.
Yo. It's episode 32 of the Hardwood Knuckleheads. We in the building. It's chaos at the King house. It's spring break. I got kids in the bedroom yelling at me like I'm loud. This is my damn house.
Right.
Don't be like,
yeah.
Sit in that room and you play your Xbox and you shut the hell up.
Yeah, don't be over there telling me nothing. I don't want to hear nothing but silence. That's all I want to hear out of your mouth.
Y'all gonna see something go on in this podcast.
Right.
If I leave this screen, you're gonna hear pop, 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 pop.
There's gonna be some furniture moving out this thing.
Dude. What's up, boy? How you doing?
Oh shit, what do you want, boy? Oh yeah. See, look, you don't talk about that, and then I got one of mine coming out. Like, whoa, what you doing? I'm like, remember how I told you not to come out right now because we're doing this? Oh, then that's what it is. Man, just homie, it's finally, the weather's finally starting to change, so that's nice because it's getting warmer. But dog, I mean, I know how you are, but my allergies when it starts to get like this. Oh, it'd be the worst. I be in them eyes, like all day, just trying to take as much allergy medicine. So that part sucks, but it's nice that that's gonna be warmer outside and shit. Because I can get the kids running around and we can start doing our outside workouts and things like that. So that part's fun. But
we've been having some weird weather down here, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Beautiful day, sunny, 75, 80 degrees.
Right, just how it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah, and then like the last couple of days, yesterday was like overcast, and then it rained at night, and today it's been raining all day. It's like I don't get it. It was the same last week too. The weekend,
right.
So, but it is nice when it gets warm though.
Right,
man.
It's like that last little like. It's like winter trying to hold on to like that last little stretch before that shit turn over to spring. You know what I'm saying? They still be trying to be cold at nighttime, still try to hit you with some wet stuff or whatever. But then and then it just go away. So
yeah. What curious, like we all do the whole thing. Everybody does it. All you sorry asses out there watching the pod, I know you all do the same thing. So don't judge me.
Right.
Everybody talk about summertime's coming. I got to get my summer body on.
Like, you're that guy.
I'm just asking. Are you one of those dudes? Like, I mean, I think it's funny because like I think we're both in pretty good shape. You've always been in good shape, and you're you actually are probably more active than I am.
Right.
All the training that you do. But do you like? I mean, I know it's Washington, so it's not like a big deal. But I mean, do you do like a spring routine to get yourself in extra good shape?
That's funny. It's funny because it's like you always hear this. You know what I mean? Like you always kind of hear that stuff. You know what I mean? It'll start to get like January, and it's like right after like that 6-week span that was like nothing but like Thanksgiving and turkey and all this shit. Right. And then you got Christmas right around, so there's all the candies and all the stuff that you get. Like, you know what I mean? So there's like the good 6 weeks that's right before the new year where you're like, oh shit, I got to kick this back into gear. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think that we always get there. And then you get to January and it'd be like whatever, February, just like it starts to get a little bit warmer. I don't know if I'm so much as kind of just like, I got to do it for I'm trying to get whatever kind of, body or stuff like that. Cause I'm kind of over that. My core could probably stand to be a little bit better, but I can't stop eating. So it's just, it's one of those ones where, I just like, if I flex real hard, I feel like I got some abs there, but it's not. But here's the thing there too is that like I don't focus on the core as much as I should anyway.
Right.
Until I start feeling like like my low back starts getting a little bit more like tight, not so much pain, but just kind of just like some discomfort. Then like, oh shit, wait, I forgot I got a core that like is connected to all this parts of my body. So if the core weak, then everything else gonna be weak as well too. So I mean, it's like, it'll be that, but I mean, not so much worried about like the body part, just but it's nice to get outside to go work out, like I mean, but that's about it though too. So
that's the thing. I mean, shoot, I'm 40. What the hell? I'm 44.
He said, "Oh wait, who am I? See,
I think 44, about to be 45. I think that's right."
You don't even know how old he is. Y'all hear?
I'll just be. Hey, I stopped counting too.
At what year did you really just stop stop counting and like it didn't really matter? Like, I mean, like I know how old I am, but like I stopped thinking about how old I was.
I think it was after honestly, it was in the last few years. So I turned 40, right? You hit 40. And then like it was like 41, somewhere between 41 and 42. I started getting them mixed up. You know, like so honestly, I think I'm 44. I'm pretty
right
sure.
around that time.
But,
Yeah.
But I just like whatever, you know. But nah, like that's I'm not really big into doing like, you know, body rehab, whatever you want to call it, like, you know. But at the same time, like I'm conscious of your weight and all that stuff.
Right. Just because we're getting older, we got to start taking care. You know, like you start getting older and like you start realizing more about like, damn, I got to start doing. It's funny, like the stuff that you want to start doing now is like if you'd have done that shit when you were like younger,
or continue because we were college athletes, right?
Too, right? You know what I mean? Like, you know, like the working out part I've always been kind of good at. The eating part I've always been kind of inconsistent with. Like, you know what I mean? Like I've never really been like as consistent on either side as I should. Either like take away the sweets and the candies and all that shit, or kind of keep it at a minimum, or eat more vegetables and more greens and more things like this, or at least in moderation. Like, you know what I mean? Like that. And it's like, it's either, I don't know, it's like one or like the other. Like, you know what I mean? It's always like I put something bad in and then I put something good. And then I put something bad and good just to kind of counteract, knowing that shit's not exactly how you're supposed to do it. But in my mind, I'm like, no, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So then you just keep doing
it. And we got that arrogance about us, like, you know, that shit'll go away. I'm active enough. Like,
right.
But
that's the one thing there too, is that like when we were younger, like I'm 6'4" and I weigh, and I'm 225, right? And in college, I couldn't get heavier than, I mean, as far as playing weight, right? Like I could put weight on before the season and do all that kind of stuff, right? Because we're not doing as much practicing, as much running, as much this. We did like, you know, you only had like those 2 days of conditioning. You had it Wednesday when you were out at the track, or we're like in the gym, and then we had our Saturday stuff before football and everything. So before everybody can go get live at the games, and we had to go, like, you know how it was. You just go do the, you know, like go do the running and stuff. So all summer I'd lift and I'd get bigger and I put this weight on. Like I would come into the season. You know, I think the heaviest that I got, I came into the season either my junior or my senior year, I was at 203, which I was pretty happy with, like with the weight.
Crazy.
And I felt like but no, I mean, it's crazy. But then it's just like, as soon as you start playing and you're running, and like at the beginning, like again, what you don't like, what a lot of people are going to find out once they get there, you know what I mean? Especially when you get the call, it's way different there too, because those first like 2 weeks of practice or whatever, you're doing you're practicing twice a day, and your body's tired of shit. And the last thing that you're trying to do is eat or do anything. I'm like, I just want to go lay down. I just want I can just go back, and so I don't get kicked. You know what I mean? Just so I can be there, because you know that you got to get through like that first, like, you know, the first month is always the worst when it comes to basketball. Like, you know what I mean? The first, whether it's like high level high school basketball, or if you're in college, like that first month is always the worst, because really coaches are trying to see what you're, I mean, like, you know, like where you're at. They're putting in so much stuff anyways there too, that like mentally you're getting fatigued and you're getting overwhelmed and you're getting anxious. Anyways, I'm saying all that to say that by the time we started to actually play basketball after like that, then I'd be down to like 175, 180. And it was, I'd lose all of it. Now, and it just drove me crazy. Like it just, I felt like all I could do is just put water weight on. You know what I'm saying? Like you put it all on and then you sweat off. But then now I'm just like, shit. I'm like, if I'd have had this weight, maybe not 225, because that might be too, like, you know, like 2. But if it's like 210, maybe 15 at the heaviest or whatever, like I feel like I could have played and just done differently. But you know, you can't do it. So.
That's funny you say that though, because like on the flip side, like my senior year, I was 6'2", 215, and I was ripped. I was but the crazy thing about it now is like, I get on the scale now, and like if I hit 210, I'm like, damn, you a fat ass, bro.
Right? No, yeah, because it just looks different. It looks different. It's not the same.
It looks different.
Because we were so it's like you're not so much having it up here as it's all in this area right here. Like you be in the mirror, like trying to suck your stuff in while you're trying to look. You're like, oh wait, am I? Just try. He was trying to.
And that's the thing. Like so, like I'm. That's the one thing that I'm like, this year's kind of been my goal. I'm like, man, I really wish I could get my abs back. Like I want to get a 6-pack.
Right.
But then hey man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. You sit down and you start doing sit-ups, bro. You get that first ab cramp.
What I'm telling you, it just don't feel like it. You're like, damn, I don't remember this before. That's because the thing was is because back in the day, like it wasn't so much that I had a great core. I was just skinny buff. That's all that.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So like you don't have to do much because you was already cut up because you had to do you didn't like work on it. You just didn't have nothing else there. So your body had no choice but to just be cut because you didn't have shit there. So that's what it was. Now you're like, damn. So now you just like now you get that you get that older body and just like I gotta be active. But it's like with me because my kids are so young and I'm trying to like teach them, but also kind of lead by example there, right? So it's like I remember growing up, my mom and dad was always working out. Like my mom would teach aerobics, or she wasn't teaching aerobics, and she would go on walks and she'd go on lunges and she would do stuff like that. And my dad taught fighting and my dad worked out. You know what I mean? So like we grew up, that was just the norm of the house. Like you had no choice but to get at some point you were going to get involved in that. And it was like, and my dad would always be like, if your body's not strong, then you're not going to be ready. Like, you know what I mean? He would just say stuff to us, or like you just sit there and then watch him at 35, 40 years old. I would just watch him like in sets, rep out 50, 75, 100 push-ups. Like it's nothing. Oh, shit. God,
damn.
Like, I'm supposed to do that. Yeah, right. Like how am I supposed to do it? You know what I mean? So so you watch them do that forever, or like be able to watch my mom and me. Man, I remember my mom at one time. Like, I think at most, like, I'd ever seen her, like, my mom used to throw up 250, 275 on the bench like it was nothing.
Like it's nothing.
Like it's nothing. Like, just be in there just pumping that shit. My dad just yelling at her, like, nah, one more rep. Nah, one more rep. Like, keep going. She'd be out there cussing my dad out on some just kind of like, I told you I was there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just do that. So it's like, I'm trying to be the same for them. So I'm just like, so I have to, so on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, because Asen gets out of school early, and then Isla gets out of school early on like Wednesdays or whatever. Like that's like a big workout day for like the family. So like we're working out together. And then on Wednesday, Fridays, like I'm doing the same. Just because I want them to keep like that part of it too. I'm not supposed to stay active because it's just important for them to be able to do this.
It's a good foundation for them to have.
It is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we try to make it as fun as we can right there too. And we still make it, I still make it tough for them, and I still make it competitive because I want my kids to understand that it's okay to compete as long as it's healthy. You know what I mean? As long as it's not like, you're not like getting mad because you lost, you start throwing rocks at your sister, or you know what I mean, or just like little stuff that you see, like kids at like younger ages, sometimes they don't want to compete because they can't handle the adversity of losing.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So then like try to get them like, no, like let's keep this fun. Like somebody gonna win, somebody gonna lose. Just work your butt off or whatever. And you know what I mean? And just keep continuing to kind of do it that way. So that's what we try to get across. I don't know if it ever, if it registers, but shit, I mean, you don't never know if it registers. Like,
you never know. You never know. You're just trying to give them the tools. That's all you can do.
Hey, well then let me ask you that. Let me ask you this, because I was thinking about this morning, or like whatever, like because your kids are a little bit older than mine, right? I mean, except like Isaiah being the youngest one for you guys, which he's the same age as our oldest, and then all of ours are kind of just like younger. So like you're a little bit past this part, but maybe not, because I'm pretty sure that you and Jen probably still talk about this shit all the time. Yeah. Like, how paranoid were you about being a parent?
You know what?
And I don't mean like parent, like not paranoid, like in like a bad sense, but it was like, I mean, like, because you're watching your kids grow up.
Yeah.
And then so kind of like, like how often did you and Jen like have talks, and like how often were you always kind of just like, man, I got to do this. I got, like, you know what I mean? Like, just, I don't know, just your kids are older. So like, I feel like that you can come from a different perspective with that.
Yeah, it's funny, man. I think, and you watch as a high school coach, as a trainer, you see parents interact with their kids now, right? And we took our examples from our parents and those that we grew up with, right? Mm-hmm. And so we grew up with in a different time where, hey, I'm just gonna say, you can get your ass whooped. Your parents whoop your ass. You know what I mean?
Right. Like they weren't playing. There wasn't no playing.
It wasn't a major deal, right? So, but at the same time, I think growing up, like, you wanted to find that. I know when I first became a parent, I wanted to have that balance, right? Where like I was hard on them, but at the same time, like, I don't want to say I want to be the kid's friend, but I want them to be able to relate and always have like be able to feel like they can come talk to me and stuff like that.
Right.
So I don't know. I there's a lot of times where I think I've done it wrong, but I talk shit to my kids like
right.
And we try to tell them what's what. We try to educate them on
you
what
try to be as honest with you as you can about it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes like maybe I should have been harder on here. Maybe I should have put more focus here.
Right.
But in the end, it's like I got 4 good kids, beautiful kids.
Right.
Like personality that can hold a conversation with an adult. They may not do everything right, but they on a good path. And with and me and Jen balance each other well.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. It is. Shout out to parents everywhere.
No, hey, for real. Hey, no, because I'm always constantly thinking about that because again, like I'm always, or I mean, and I don't know if I'm questioning. Well, yeah, I guess questioning, but you're just like, am I doing this shit the right way? Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, I'm just saying because it's like because there's no book to it, right? Like, it's not, it's like when you're, it's one thing like when you had your first there, right? So like, I mean, like, like when you get the like what to expect when expecting book, and you can kind of read through it, and they'll kind of give you some ideas and some things, and kind of. But again, you never really know because it's like everybody's journey and their paths are all different there too. You know what I mean? Like so there's that. But it's like once you have them, and you're there, and it's like, and you're holding it, and you're like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like, like
don't screw this up.
What did I do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, not. And again, I'm not like knocking this at all. I'm not saying I regret anything. I am so blessed to have 4 just crazy ass, gremlin of kids that I got, and I love them, every single one of them. I mean, like they've all got their own different kind of personalities, the stuff that they like, just little quirks and stuff like this that is always just kind of fun to just learn about there, right? But from a day to day, oh damn, hey, I'm always like, shit, is this going to be the day where later on they're not going to like me because, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always just so like paranoid about that shit, and I don't. And again, I don't know if it's healthy or not. I try to tell myself it's good to think that way because at least you're trying to prepare them for what's out there. Or like if you're always kind of guessing yourself, or like not guessing in like a bad way, but just kind of questioning kind of just like what you're doing, it kind of makes you stay sharp. At least that's how I try to reason myself with it. Shit, who knows if I'm even doing it right? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
hey, here's my thing. Here's what I say. This is how I feel. Like, I feel like I feel like I'm a good dad, and my mom has told me I'm a good dad. So that's one thing. That's like encouraging.
Right.
So, but like when it comes down to it, I'm like, you know what? I am who I am. Excuse my language, but I fuck this up. Look, Jen gonna clean it up.
Listen, hey, tag team. Hey, no. You in there now. Now it's your turn. Your turn. I obviously didn't do this part right. So I'm gonna need you to fix this, and then I'll go to the other ones, and then we can come back and kind of rehash there too, which is like, that's
the beauty of marriage, man.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, it's just
teamwork.
Like, teamwork. No, it does, but it's like every single one of them there too. And again, I mean, like you can relate to this. I mean, like every single one, regardless of what we think as parents, right? You know what I mean? Like what we think as parents about like, oh, my kid's gonna do this, or I hope they do this, right? You got no idea,
right?
You've got no idea. I mean, like you can hope as much as you want. You know what I'm saying? Right. You just but it's like they're gonna do what they want to do. They're gonna like what they want to like as well there too. But it's like how. So again, like how how did you manage doing all this stuff? Like I'll give you an example. Like Isla is doing she's starting to get into dance a little bit, right? She likes the hip hop dance and stuff, but she's also very she's very standoffish sometimes. And again, not standoffish in like a bad way. I think it's more kind of like the same confidence that I see her with when she's at home, when she's with her peers and with her family and with people that she knows, where she's allowed to be a little bit more just loose. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Where like she can just get out there and she can do her stuff. And then it's like, then sometimes she'll go to the dance or she'll go this. And then it's like, it's that shelling up. It's that, you know what I mean? It's not like, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't like it and stuff. And again, I'm only asking because Maya was really into dance and cheer and all that stuff.
So that's funny you say that. Cause so Maya's our one child who probably might be the strongest of all of our kids.
Right.
But she chose to do dance and then she chose to do cheerleading. Right. And I'll remember, I mean, me and Maya, from when she was when she first started cheer. I think she started cheer. I want to say age 8, maybe 8 or 9. And I remember having conversations with her, with taking her to cheer, bringing her home from cheer. And I'm like, Maya, I hate this shit. I'm like, but you know what? As long as you having fun, I love it for you, right? But I'm not. I ain't no cheer dad. Like, I can't get into it. Like, I can't. Like, I couldn't stand being around it. Like, cause cheer stuff is wild, yo. Like, and it's so cliquey and stuff. And I'm like, man, I don't want my daughter to be a part of it. But like, you see her out there and she's flourishing,
and she's right. And so you can't help but like, you have to enjoy it for them.
You enjoy it. So we used to
love it for them there too.
We went to competitions and stuff, and I'm sitting in there, and it's like a long ass day for 5 minutes of competition. They got 2.5 minutes. And I'm just like, this is some bullshit. Like, but you see her up on the stage, she's just rocking it, and she's enjoying it,
killing it.
And it's just like, it's cool moments like that where you have to get yourself outside of yourself, and you have to let them flourish and help them. Encourage them to flourish.
Right. You just almost have, you're like, it's like you got to lose it and just be like, you know what? Like, if you rocking with it, then I'm rocking with it.
I rock with it. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, just, hey, show me what we need to practice at home and let's go and get this shit done. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if this is what you're with, I'm with it there too. Cause, and so let me ask you there too. So like, was there ever a time when like, obviously like the younger times, like where like when she first got into it or whatever. I don't think that, and like I don't necessarily think that Isla is like discouraged about it. I don't think it's that. I think it's I think it's the whole like it's that when we're growing up, you know what I mean? Like we oftentimes like we don't always necessarily explore who we are in front of everybody all the time because we're nervous. Like we're afraid of kind of how people are going to look at us. You're afraid if you're going to look where, you know what I mean? All like, and then it's like in those moments, like those are like the first times that like you start maybe kind of doubting yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so then you're like, oh, I'm going to try to be just real content and I'm going to act like that. I'm just real, like, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. Like, did you ever have any moments like that with her early? And if so, like, how did you know what I mean? How did you guys kind of?
And here's the thing. And this is where I feel like I shouldn't say this because I want to say a lot of parents get it wrong, but I that could be making an assumption, right? The thing about those times with Maya and the fact that one, like we were straight up with each other. Like she knew, she was like, man, my dad's a basketball coach. She ain't into this cheer crap, but he's here supporting me, right? And so we would have those hard conversations and awkward. She'd be like, Dad, I know you don't want to be here. She would like call me out and stuff. I'm like, girl, man, like I'm with you, I rock with you, but I still hate this shit. Like I hate it. Right. But she would find the confidence in those knowing that, my parents being basketball coaches and being around sports, like, and I'm not saying cheerleading is not a sport because it is. I understood it is.
That shit is high level. Like, no, it's crazy. Yeah, right.
But she was able to thrive and come out of her shell because she knew, one, her parents are not going to bullshit her. We were gonna tell her straight up like what we didn't like, what we liked, when she did great, like we're always gonna be the support. So she never had that, like, I don't think she ever felt like the second guessing of herself.
Right.
Able to be her, and it was like, yo, just do your thing, be the best you can be, and we're gonna be here to rock with you. You know what I mean? And so like, I think that's the one thing that I feel like with all of our kids, because we've always been so honest with them, like they've never really had, I mean, every kid goes through moments of self-doubt, right? But those were few and far between because they knew we had their back.
Because they knew that you guys are always coming from a safe spot and everything you're too. So when they had thoughts about that, because that's kind of where like I've been, she tried to do ballet and I don't know if she, it sounds like that she didn't like it as much, right? And I mean, but it's kind of one of those ones there too, right? Where it's just like when you're a kid, right? Like, and what I was trying to, because I made sure that we had a conversation this morning before she went to school because I was thinking about it, right? And it was just like, just with anything. And again, I mean, I'm talking to everybody about everything. Like when it comes to this, is not just about my daughter because I'm assuming that we have parents that are out there that have either been there or they're going to get there or they've got something about it there too, right? Because I feel like the people, like people, is that like when you get like in those moments there where like you don't think that you can do it or this and that, like that's perfectly fine, because really if you think about it, that's how everything starts. I mean, like when you went to school, like you were nervous when you went to school. Maybe like you weren't as like, you know, as like sad as some other kids like when their parents left them, but it was still a thing. And so like when you were there, you're probably like nervous about, well, shit, that kid can write a little better than me. Those one can cut on the line better than me. That one, like, you know what I mean? Where it's just kind of like we're in like the bigger picture, like none of that shit matters. Like, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter like how fast that you get it, as long as you just have fun and just try to enjoy what it is that you're doing and like try to learn there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I think so much about like stuff that, you know what I mean, and like me and Lex were talking about this last night about just stuff that it was just like the stuff for us as kids that we used to put so much emphasis on that really when you think about it, it was just like we didn't even need none of that shit.
No. But here's the thing.
You used to have to wear like all this stuff that you put in your mind that you need to be like because you're so worried about impressing.
Yes.
Out for what? Like you and so that's where we're at right now with trying to, you know, kind of getting through
and y'all out there listening, like Garnett and I did not even plan this conversation, but it's a great conversation that we're having. But and I will flip it back to what you and I experienced as basketball people in youth basketball. And I relate it because you think about the things that we hear people talk about in the stands. You hear interactions between parents and kids before game, after game, right? And the thing that I go back to is when we were kids and all the shit that didn't matter and that we dealt with, we were able to deal with it more because I think our parents were like, yo, this is what it is. You may not be good at this, but you just got to keep working and we'll figure out solutions. Now in the world it is today, I feel like, I mean, I sat in the game last weekend, and you just feel like parents are always trying to make an excuse for their kids when they face those moments of uncomfortableness or adversity, instead of embracing it and being like, yo, you struggled at this, that, and the other today. Well, then just work on it. But don't make excuses for them. Don't say, you know, you didn't have a good game because Johnny didn't pass you the ball or he wasn't in it. Like, it's a total different mindset for not all, but there's a lot of parents out there that do this. You know, it's just like we had to take it on because our parents are like, go figure that shit out. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't friends with the kid down the block. Y'all got some sort of thing. Go outside and figure this shit out.
And then go and figure it out. Yeah, like that's what you got to do. You got to, you know, like because if you know, just like you said, it almost sounds like that we're trying to
shelter.
And not all the time. Yeah, we're trying to shelter or we're trying to shield them away from things that we know that they need to go through. We just don't want them to go through it because we remember how that made us feel sometimes. We had to go through that stuff. Or, you know, on like the flip side of that. And so, you know, and so you have to, you know, you got to try to put everything into.
And it goes back to your original question that you asked me. You said, you know, when you were like, you know, do you feel paranoid as a parent? Like, I feel like a lot of parents, like their parenting, man, I feel like an asshole saying this, but like, because I don't want to sound like to the people out there. Like,
no. We're just having an honest conversation. Yeah, I got you.
Like, I think a lot of parents parent one with the concern for their child. They do have a concern for their child. Now, what they do with that could be misguided, or they can make right choices, wrong choices. Right. There's also a part of how does this reflect on me? Like, as a parent, what's this going to make me look like? And honestly, like, I think that's the one thing as a parent. I think, and Jen tells me from time, she puts me a check sometimes, and I have to think about these things. But for the most part, like, I parent my kids how I parent, and I don't give a shit what you think about it. Like, I feel like I'm doing the best. You know what I mean?
Right. And all you can do at the end of the day is just try to just do your best. Like, you can't do somebody else's best. You got to do your best in your house.
I'm here for y'all. I'm here for my kids. You know what I mean? Now, there are some times where you do gotta check yourself a little bit, because you can be arrogant. You know what I mean? As a parent,
exactly right.
And that could be to the detriment of your children, you know. So, but for the most part, I'm not worried about what everybody thinks about how I'm a parent, because like, if my kids are doing right, if they make good decisions, and when they don't make good decisions, we handle it, and you don't do that crap again. You know what I mean? Like, then I feel like, hey, they're young, they're gonna figure stuff out. You know,
right.
But I do think that comes into play. There's just there's a split. Like, I'm gonna do right by my kid, and I want to shelter them, and I want to make sure everything's good for them. But then I also want to make sure that I look good as a parent, and like nobody. And I'm like, I just frankly don't care.
And you got to let that go, because it's like wherever it is, and like, you know, like I say this to Aylin and a little bit with Isla. Asen and Isley, not so much, because I just don't know if mentally they're going to be able to grasp the concept. But it's like, where you're at in whatever walk of life that you're in, you're exactly where you're supposed to be at, right? You know what I mean? Like, and so it's like again, like you take the sports part there, right? Like, if you're working and you're doing things and you're purposely trying to, you know, get outside of your comfort zone to try to grow and learn and be a better, you know, student of the game when it comes to whatever sport, then you're exactly where you're supposed to be at there, right? And like that's great. And then it's like, if you don't want to do that, then you're still going to be exactly where you're supposed to be at, because again, there's you know, and like we talked about this, I think like last week there too, there's the good consequence and the bad consequence that comes with, you know, stuff there, right? If you practice more on penmanship, then over the course of time, then you're going to be a better writer, or like it's going to be a little bit more legible, or like if you work on math problems more when you get home, then I think naturally you're going to be better when you get to school. If you don't, you're not. And that's as simple as I try to make it out for him, because you try not to, or at least what we try to do is that we try not to overcomplicate stuff for them. You know what I'm saying? It's already hard enough trying to be a parent, right? It's already hard. But for
a kid at this age during this time,
it's already hard enough for them trying to be a kid, and they're trying to figure their shit out there too. Like, I got no idea what's really going on in their mind sometimes. Now, like, you hope that there's that door and that you can talk to them, that they know that you can talk to them about stuff. But, you know, there's probably times where like Aylin's got conversations and stuff that he probably would rather talk to his friends in, like, which is fine. You know what I mean? I mean, like we've all been there, but like you just again, like I'm always just so nervous about that shit. Like, I mean, every night, or just like when like if I'm laying down, or if I have a moment to like drive home, I'm like, shit, like, did we do this, or if I said something like that day, like, did I do too much? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just, you know, like, you know, just like whatever, like if I like said something, like, you know, like one time I was like, I was what Isla was playing basketball, and, you know, and she and like I'm sitting there and like I'm watching her play, and like I'm noticing that like when she's playing with other girls who are like, they're trying to figure this stuff out, and maybe they're just not as skilled in this and this or whatever, then like she feels like that she's got to be like that, because if she tries to be like the other,
stand out, she don't want people not like her.
It's like, and I got to sit there and like I got to look, and you got to watch and let it kind of go on, but then she'll come up at halftime. I'm like, hey, I want, like, go be a hooper out there,
right?
This ain't got nothing to do with, you know, go hoop like a guy, go hoop like girls. Like, you know what you're doing out there, go out there and then
do it.
Then go, you know. So it's like it's that confidence that we try to instill and build into our kids. Because obviously as parents, we're always like around them more than other people are. So like you feel like that you have an idea of what your child can do. Now, whether or not she's going to be great at anything, I don't like care about that. But I know when I see her, when I'm at home, I'm like, girl, you can do that. So go do that shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, don't worry about what the outcome is going to be. I don't care if you make or miss. I want to see the attempt. I want to do one of these things like that. Like, I know that you can do because I've seen you work on it, and get out there and just go do it. And like, if it works, we're going to clap for you. And if it doesn't work, guess what? We're still going to clap for you. And then we're going to clap for you. Like, on too. So I don't know. It just, I'm just paranoid about that shit. Like,
man, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Hey, that's 34 minutes of y'all. Y'all just got real parent insight from the hardwood knuckleheads. Now take that shit how you want it.
With a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt.
Again, I'm not.
Cup. I'm not sure. And again, I don't know if I have the answers. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of like, I just feel like that the one thing I think that with me and you, and I mean, like, we've talked about this all the time, and not, and again, it's largely with coaching and because we're always around kids and doing this, but it's just being consistent. Like that's really at the end of the day, whether like just be consistent with, because sooner or later the light bulb for them is going to turn on. But if you're not consistent in your efforts with it, well then I feel like it's going to take longer for them to turn on, or it might not ever turn on because they've got crossing wires and they don't know which, like which dad or which mom is coming at them because, well, like, okay, so like you told me today, I got to get this stuff done. Like I got to get homework done today. I got to get homework done Tuesday. I got to get done Wednesday. But then you don't say nothing about it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then when my on me again, and then you do, like, you know what I mean? Like if you're not consistent all the time. And then again, that's the part there too, where that part can get exhausting as parents. You're just like, damn, dude, like we gotta do this again. Like, but again, you've got to, because I think on the flip side, when the light bulb finally turns on, then it's like, okay, now we've got you to the point where you understand that you got to get X, Y, and Z done before you. But it's like, shit, if we're still on X, and you look like, you know what I mean, and it's like you're trying to go do something else. So it's just being consistent all the time in it. You know what I mean? And whether or not that you're good or bad at it, who cares? Just be consistent.
Absolutely.
Just be consistent. But it's like, but like when you're consistent, then what you can do as well there too, you can get a chance to think about what it is that you're doing, and then be like, okay, I need to change a little bit of like my consistency
to get a better result.
Because if you're doing it all the time, then you can take mental notes on like what if this is working, if not. But like if I come home one day and I'm like, Aylin, go get your shots up, and I say that on Monday, and then 3 weeks go by and I've said nothing to him for 3 weeks, and then it's like a Wednesday just on a random, I'm like, where you at? Why didn't you get your like Dad, what the hell? Like, you know what I mean? Like you're not consistent with whatever it is that you're trying to help them go after.
Yeah,
absolutely. What I mean? And then it just, I don't know, then it's just not gonna. I don't know if it works or not, but for us, that's the way that we try to do it. So but again, we don't ever even know if we're gonna do it right.
No, we don't.
You don't. Like you're just
you got to put your best foot forward and let them have it.
And you know what? I hope that all these marbles that we're throwing in don't got no hole at the bottom of the bucket,
bro. We'll move. We got some basketball. I'm gonna tell this story and we can move on. This is how parents. This is how we deal with stuff. So, me and Jen were driving, and she goes, the conversation I had with she goes, the conversation I had with your son. I'm like, what this fool do now, right?
Especially if she says your son, it was some bullshit.
She tells me this story about Isaiah, how they were driving and he was looking at the trees. Now, mind you, Isaiah he's 12 years old, y'all. He's a straight A student. He's smart. Okay. For the most part, the boy got common sense. Okay. So just bear with. I'm gonna give you that context. So he's looking at the trees and he's looking at the color green. He goes, I'm not a real big fan of the color green. And Jen was just like, well, I don't know why. These trees are green. They're pretty, right? You know what this was. What he said? He said, you know what? I wonder what it was like before there was no color. And Jen was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So you think about it, and like all the old movies are in black and white.
Right. So that's how life was.
This clown.
Right.
Thought that one day miraculously
it was just on some Pleasantville shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a glitch and we just had color.
All of a sudden, I was like, no, like
I was like, who have I done something wrong here?
Right, no, just like wait, okay. Obviously, I didn't know. Okay, we didn't have this.
We missed this. We missed this. But it was just funny. I'm like, yo, you a smart kid, but like that was dumb.
Aylin comes up to me last night and he goes, Dad, when is a selection show? And I said, Aylin, it's on Sunday. And he goes,
Selection Sunday.
And he goes, and I tell him, I said, it's Selection Sunday. He goes, well, we're gonna miss it. And I said, and I'm like, I'm confused as shit because I'm like, it's Thursday night. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, it just, this is like last night. And he was just like, well, because on the East Coast, like it's like a day ahead of us. And I'm like, and I'm like, what? I'm confused. I'm like, wait, no. Like I said, and I'm like, it's on Sunday. And he goes, no. He was like, we're gonna miss it. I'm like, Aylin, the selection show is on Sunday. I said, it's Thursday. Like, I'm like, it's Thursday. And he's like, no, we're gonna miss it because on the other side, they're like a day ahead of us. And he goes, what time is it? And I looked at the clock and it was like 9:05. I said, it's 9:05. He said, so what time is it on the East Coast? I'm like, well, it's 12:05. He said, yeah, it's the next day.
Tomorrow.
No, that's not how.
You just hey.
That's not how this works, bro. Like trust me, like I'm not gonna let you miss it, and I'm not gonna miss the day. Like it's on Sunday, so tomorrow's Friday.
Right.
He's like, no, but it's already Friday there. I'm like, I understand that, but like, there's 24 hours. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, you know what? I just go to bed.
Go away.
No. We'll talk about this tomorrow. Like, no, just like sometimes the questions or like the thoughts. You're like, listen, we can't. No.
Like, I'm with you. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Oh man. Well, that was a good discussion, man. I'm glad we had that. That was no, good.
I was like thinking about this shit earlier. I was like, you know what? Maya danced and she did all that, man. Let me just talk to my guy and let me just see. I was in that same thing there too. So appreciate you. So that
absolutely. So it is bubble. It's bracket week, so you got all the conference tournaments going on. Everybody's on bubble watch. Man. And then on top of that, you got all these coaches getting fired. Did you hear Juwan Howard just got fired like 2 hours ago?
He just got from Michigan?
Yeah.
I mean, like you had to kind of see that coming because they just didn't win. Like they were, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, he was like, and again, like those first 2 years that he was there, I really enjoyed watching Michigan play. Like I really enjoyed, like he brought back some youthfulness. He brought back some energy. I think there was like our older generation, like which is ours, like we were from the Fab Five and all that kind of stuff. And so you remember the impact that he had on that team. And so you're kind of like, oh, like it was like a nostalgia moment for like us, you know what I mean? Like for like the older ones. And so you're seeing that like, oh, okay, this is gonna be good. And then it's like, I really feel like that it started to go downhill when they had that incident. You remember there was a couple years where like shake hands line, and then there was
he's slapping people. He's slapping people. You're not supposed to slap people. Hey, coaches out there, you're not supposed to slap people. Just so you know, it's not good.
Was kind of like maybe like I don't know if that had anything to do with right now, but maybe that was the beginning of because things like that can kind of spiral out. And it's not necessarily an incident, but it's kind of like everything that kind of happens after that. And I think he's a great coach. I just think that like and again with these things there too now it's it's
so many different factors.
So many different factors that we didn't have to deal with growing up.
Yeah. The NIL money,
things like that you're basically now paying kids to go to school and play basketball.
Right.
And so it's like if you can't recruit that, then you're still going to be able to have players that can play, but you're not going to have the players that you want or the players that you need for the conference that you're in.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, so it's just, I don't know. It's tough, but I didn't know that I saw that they fired the Stanford coach after the game last night.
Jared Haas. He was on the hot seat last year.
He was actually anyway there too. Right.
I didn't think he was going to survive last year, but he did, but a lot of coaching changes. I mean, Ohio State fired Chris Holtman. He already got the job at DePaul.
Wait. They already got hold of Riddle, and now he's at DePaul already. That's how fast that went.
He got fired. So he got fired a month ago.
And then they got the interim coach that took over. Yeah, me.
He's doing good. He's doing a good job with them. But he just got hired at DePaul yesterday. So it was like a month from day he got fired to the day he got hired, which is good for him. He's a good coach. He's a real good coach. I feel like that he was really good at Butler. Like, you know what I mean? Like those things can always be so tricky there too, right? Because like you'll be at a situation or you'll be somewhere where like you really got this thing going, right? You know what I mean? You really got it going. You've got to find like I really think about Shaka when it comes to this because like what he did at VCU and how he turned that thing around and everything, you're just like, oh shit, like these guys got nowhere, then there was this energy, then there was this, but it's like you see those, but you also know the business side of it there too, that it's just like if you're able to get a mid-major and you're able to do this or whatever, like you're basically setting yourself up to like handpick the next job there, right? Which may not be the best.
And that's the thing right there too, is that like because again, just because you did that doesn't mean that your next situation you're gonna be doing. Because it's funny because he got to Texas and he couldn't get them to do the same shit. Like like them kids was not trying to press for 40 minutes. Like it was just like no.
Right.
We're playing Big
Right.
12. Like, no. It's
And,
like,
and when he got that job, everybody in America thought it was like, okay, Texas about to go crazy.
no, right. And again, I thought it there too. I'm like, man,
Yep.
if he can get some Texas boys with that length and he can start,
Yeah.
getting guys there, like,
And
because
it
really
didn't
like
quite work.
because how it works for us, like when we're like watching it, or I mean, I think not for everybody, but for some, they'll see it and they'll be like, wow, like look at what Shaka did at VCU. Automatically, he's going to go to Texas and he's going to do that, and they're going to be Final Four, right?
Yep.
The other guys that like people that have played basketball and know, you're kind of like, do you know how long that it's going to take for kids to buy into something like that? That shit doesn't just happen because you showed up on campus and then all of a sudden, like, hey, I'm Shaka Smart, we're running havoc defense and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. Because again, you got to think about this there too. When you're as a coach, when you take over another program, a lot of those players were not the players that you recruited. They're players that were recruited by somebody else for a different kind of philosophy.
Exactly.
And like how they play. So there's going to be some standoffish, or there's going to be some like, I don't know if I necessarily buy into this, or the kids might transfer, or they might like, you know what I mean? Like there's so many other moving parts that it's like you hate to, like, I don't always like to see coaches leave certain situations because I'm like, nah, like you're really good where you're at over there. You're really, really good. And then, but it's just kind of one of those, just like, just one different one. So what's the guy that's over at Dayton? Is it Anthony Grant?
Anthony Grant.
Love Anthony Grant. Yeah. Anthony Grant started off at VCU. If people don't remember there too, he was at VCU before Shaka was, and they beat Duke in the tournament that one year. And then I think he left, and I think that he took a higher job. Where did he go? Did he go to
Alabama?
That's what I thought. Okay, that's what I thought. He went to Alabama, and then things didn't. But then now he's at Dayton, and they're killing it. No, you know what I mean? It's like sometimes I think you just got to kind of find your. I don't know. It's you don't want to tell nobody how to like do their job, but sometimes like when they go someplace else. Like again, Holtman, like he was really good at Butler. Like he came in there and like he took over, and they were he was a Butler, right?
He was Butler, he
came up Butler, and then but again they throw that different money at you, and so you almost got to be like,
I gotta and you've earned and the thing about it is it's not just the money. You've earned that opportunity,
right? You've earned it, right? Right.
It's just like, man, the patience, the wanting for your program to be good now is hindering like the development that you would usually have that grace period. Now everybody's like, if you have two, you get hired on a new job and you have 2 bad years in a row, it's like, yo, you gotta go.
But again, like you got to think there too is about like how again, and like I don't want to use the word unfair, but it's just like, I've had conversations with coaches before, and like a lot of like the themes over like the years when you start talking about coaching and stuff, like one of the things that they say is that like, when you bring a good coach in, or just another coach, you really got to give them some grace until they get to that 3rd or 4th year to kind of see what they can do, because they've got to get rid of the players that were there that weren't theirs. And then you have to allow them to recruit so they can bring players in that are going to be there.
That ain't happening anymore.
Right. Knowing that freshman year, they're not going to be able to get it. Like, you know what I mean? Because you're still, you got like freshmen that you're bringing in with the upperclassmen, juniors and seniors that you're trying to get out. Like there's going to be like, people don't, like all we do is just see the games. Right. That's all we do, just see the game. You're not seeing
see all the stuff behind. We ain't getting all that
behind the scenes or whatever. So it's like it is just way more than what you think. So you almost so like you got to give them that time. But just like you said, like schools aren't doing it anymore.
No, like they ready to win now or move on. That's it.
It's crazy because it's so it's
It's crazy. It's crazy. I was texting. Hey, matter of fact, look, everybody read what's at the bottom of the screen. Read the damn shit. It says, you enjoying this show? If you haven't enjoyed our parenting expertise for the first 30 minutes, that's cool. But I know you like talking when we talk basketball. So hit the damn like button.
Hit the button. Hit that like button.
Jeez. But no, so I was texting with Sprinkle the other day.
Okay.
After their win in the Mountain West Conference tournament, they beat Jesus, who did they beat? Who was Fresno State the other night. They had to go to overtime. Right. Great game. And me and the boys were texting. Dude, first of all, this dude's funny. Okay. This dude was running regular. He ran regular the other night.
Ran regular, NAU regular.
Yes, and it was funny because I saw it and I was like, did I see what I saw? And I got distracted, so I couldn't rewind. But then
Did they get him on the back cut?
Billy freaking sends
he texts you back like, hey, look, they just ran regular.
They just ran regular. I'm like, this dude. So I text him after the game. I'm like, congrats, Danny. Good job. And I go, by the way, we noticed that you ran our play, bro. And he goes, yeah, regular.
That's crazy. Hey, that play right there, like, over like all of the ones that we had, and we had so many damn plays in it.
Yeah.
Like just have to remember like those first couple months, like, or actually that first month. Remember that first month when it was like every day, like you had 3 plays that you had to remember, and then we just, you just T, Ace, Blue, 40, J. I mean, it was, just like it just starts to come to right. Yeah. And it's like regular was one of those ones that was such a cool regular. I really always liked regular. And I liked blue and like the opposite out of blue. Big blue triple, and just kind of just those ones. But like because the play, like that one is not so much of a quick hitter as it's a really good misdirection play because there's stuff that's going on. And you're like look, and then all of a sudden it's like there's backdoor at the end. Open. Like man, that was it's different because it's like T was what? T was just cross screen, down screen. Yeah. And Jay was just kind of just like, we're just really going to dribble over. And like, he's really going to set the screen and then he's just going to roll. Like those ones were like quicker hitters. They were just like easy. Like we're just going right there. You know what I mean? Like, but it was like regular was one where like you had to set the thing up.
Yeah. We did a good job. They set it up. They
do. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's just, And so it's like, those ones are always fun when they like, when you're just kind of just throwing those different actions and just run it that way. Like that's where it's at. So
So I bring this up because word has it, and I didn't ask him about this. I'm not gonna get in this business because he's in the middle, making his run and he's got a lot going on.
Where do you think he's going?
The rumor is he's headed to Washington, bro. Like he's the main target for the Washington. Yeah.
They got rid of what's his name. We were actually at the game last week. We were actually at the game last week when they were there with when they played WSU. We went down there to go watch the game, and that game was fun there too. Like it just, and again, it's kind of one of those ones there too where like regardless of like those games right there, when it's those in-state rivalries, the records don't even matter.
No, it don't.
They don't matter because you got 2 teams that really don't like each other.
Right.
Like, I don't give a shit about the record. So you know what? We could have lost every single game, but guess what? We're not gonna do. We're not gonna lose this one.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's like that's what it is. So, like, if he's gonna be the guy that's gonna be for it, like that's exciting. I just like like I hope that he keeps on certain people. Like he's got to keep on Will Conroy as an assistant because Conroy is like
big recruiter.
Brought in next year is crazy. Yeah. And so I don't know. You just like you got to keep guys like that in there, just you know what I mean, because you know how it is. Like a head coach comes in there and then they clean house sometimes. Yeah, they don't keep some of the, you know what I mean. Like there's certain things that that they do.
But here's going back to what we were talking about earlier. It's like, is this the right job for him? I mean, so here's the thing. The reason why everybody thinks he's getting a job, one is because his dad played football there, right? And so there's this tie. And he's done such a great job at Utah State. He's more than deserving, but it's been 1 year. So it's like it's one of those things. It's like, bro, it's not. And Utah State is not.
They're not bad, and it's not.
It's like not your typical mid-major job.
No, it's not.
That is a really good job.
That's a really good job. Right.
The fan base
there's a good fan base. They got good support, alumni. Like they're again, it's kind of those things where it's like, are you sure that you want to lead? Like I get it. Logan, Utah might not be. It might not be Seattle.
Yeah, it ain't Seattle, but
it ain't Seattle, but but it's still like, but there's still a great base, a loyal base. They love their, you know what I mean? I don't know, just there. Yeah,
that's gonna be an interesting decision to see what he does. Like, and the same goes for my guy down there, Dusty May down at FAU. Like, he's supposed to be. He's rumored for the Ohio State job. He's rumored for the.
Really?
There's another job, Louisville. Like, so, like, do you leave FAU and go, get your big paydays? It's just
just like those ones are tough. Like, it's just you understand from the financial side and stuff because you know that the school that you're at is not going to be able to match what that team's going to be able to pay, right? So if that's what it is, then that's fine. But again, just like you said, it's got to be a fit. Like it has, you know what I mean? It's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to, it has to be something where it's like I can come in and I can do X, Y, and Z right now, and I can do it. Or I don't know, like just it's like those ones are just always tough. Like
Yep.
Like
I don't know.
I remember when like we were NAU and like Howland left NAU to go to Pitt, right? Pitt, and then it's like he went to Pitt, but then he took some of his assistants with him, and then and like Adris and a couple of the other guys were kind of just like left back and side where he can kind of take over. So like I can appreciate how coaches do that. Where like if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna leave here that can take. And I'm gonna go in and get these guys ready because Adris was a disciple of Howland, so he was an NAU. Then you got Dixon, who stayed at Pitt, and then he ran them in the Big East for the longest ass time.
Yeah.
Now he's over at TCU and he's doing his thing. Then you got Coach Carlson, who I believe he was over, and then he left, and then he went with Howland to
UCLA.
Like you know what I mean. So like I like that part because you kind of spread out and kind of do those things, but. Because I feel like that's the way that like you should do it. Like, you know what I mean? If I'm gonna leave, but I'm gonna leave somebody here and then, and then take some other guys and kind of help them grow as well there too. But but again, it's all about the fit. I mean, just like with the players that are gonna try to go to the schools and do things like that, like it has to be a fit for the players. Well, it's gotta be a fit for the coaches as well there too.
Absolutely. Yep.
Have to like so that's nuts.
All right. Well, we ain't doing no picks this week because the tournaments are going and we don't know who's playing what. But we just going to run through a few of these and then we're going to
go over some games real quick. I'm trying to hear what some of the scores are or whatever.
So we got let's go to the Big Ten. Big Ten tournament's going on right now. Purdue already beat Michigan State, so they're headed to the semis. Wisconsin is currently up on a game got on the TV right now. They're beating Northwestern by 3 at halftime or in the second half. Okay. You got Ohio State that's going to play Illinois tonight. You got Indiana that's going to play Nebraska tonight.
Nebraska, that was the one that you talked about a few weeks ago or whatever. So I'm gonna keep my eye on them. I'm gonna keep my eye on them because if they make it to the tournament. I was like, they're
gonna make the tournament. It's a wrap.
And I was like, okay, well, we gotta.
They got Mr. Tominaga, bro. He's a ball.
No, I remember you saying that. Right.
Yeah. So you think? I mean, the easy question for this conference is anybody gonna beat Purdue? Are they gonna win the Big Ten tournament?
Nah, no, because I don't think anybody can match up with Edie. But the thing is that like Big Ten basketball versus what it's going to be like when they get to the tournament, obviously with just how FDU played them last year, that's when it gets different. Like nobody
that's when it gets real. Yeah,
that's when it gets real. Like it just, I mean, you're not gonna. Yeah, so so are they going to go through the Big Ten? Yeah, probably. I mean, like you got to think that either them or Houston is going to be the overall number one, and you almost give it to Purdue because
or UConn.
You think UConn's going to get the overall number one?
I mean,
Houston just beat the hell out of Kansas. Like they beat them. Like they beat the brakes off Kansas. Like that was not. Kansas scored 40 points in the game.
They beat the shit out of.
They beat the shit, and that's that was crazy.
Did I pick Kansas?
Yeah, you did. You did pick Kansas.
That was stupid. That was real dumb, bro. They beat the shit. I remember texting you because I looked at the score and I was like,
he was like, damn. He's like, hey, Houston just beat the brakes off of Kansas. I was like, that was not how I thought that was going to be. Like I thought for sure, if nothing else, it would just been a closer game just because. But shit, who knows there too. So So what's the Big 12 looking like?
Big 12. Let's see real quick. Big 12. They're in the semis. Houston against Texas Tech, Baylor, Iowa State.
I think so. Then, like, who do you think the final is going to be? It's going to be Houston, Iowa State.
I'm gonna go Houston. I think we can get a Houston Baylor.
Baylor. Okay, yeah, that's okay. That's not.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's Iowa State, but I think Baylor, Houston, Baylor.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be a good game. I obviously you got to go with Houston because they just.
Right, they're on a different level.
Hitting their stride right now.
Yeah, they are. No, they're hitting their stride, and everybody's healthy there too. Knock on wood, everybody's healthy. But it's just kind of like if you can keep that up, they're gonna be. I think they can definitely be a Final Four team for sure. I watched the Wazoo game last night. They won.
Pac-12, last Pac-12 tournament. Oh boy,
crazy. Yeah.
Oregon, U of A, and then Colorado at Wazoo tonight.
That's the Final Four. Now, do you think that all four of those teams get in that are in the semis right now?
No, Oregon definitely. I don't think Oregon getting in.
How about Colorado?
They're on the bubble. They need to. If they win tonight, they're definitely.
They gotta win. Yeah. See, and this is where it gets crazier too when you start talking about that bubble stuff because what that bubble does. So 2 days ago, like on the last Joe Lunardi thing, I think that they had Indiana State. They actually had them in as one of the last 4 in.
Yep.
And after last night, because there's all these other games and teams win or teams lose, like Duke lost yesterday, which I don't think anybody, and they lost NC State, who NC State's not going to, I don't think they make the tournament.
I don't think they make the tournament.
Right.
Either.
And Duke's going to make it. But then now, and so that's one. So then now you got a team that is like, okay, well, shit, now you got to start. Then everything starts getting rearranged. And it's getting crazy. Like, I would hate to be on the committee when you're trying to put that stuff together, especially when you have it like where you get like a team like Indiana State that I think deserves to be in.
Absolutely. But then I'm here to get Cream Abdul Jabbar in the tournament, dog. Get Goggles in the bracket, yo. Don't be messing with Larry Goggles, yo.
Not Kareem, but Cream
Abdul Jabbar, y'all. Cream. And you know what? When I post this episode and I posted, which again, I don't know what's going on my Instagram. I got to get our Instagram thing going back up here. But when I do post this, I'm putting a picture of Cream Abdul
Jabbar on there. Like you got to have him on. You got to have him on.
Dude is legit. Like, man, I love looking at that dude. He's funny looking. He be balling.
Give him buckets though too, and give him that work. Like that's
Robert Abila. Shout that man. Put some respect on his name, aka Cream Abdul Jabarr.
That's funny. Yeah. So no, that's this is gonna be like this weekend's gonna be crazy because once the bracket gets set on Sunday and just watching and seeing who's gonna be playing who, that's when it starts to get like, oh wait a minute, like it's just crazy. Like just the games there too, and then shout out to Wazoo real quick there too, just because. Right now they've actually from a last night to today on the projections or whatever, they had them last night at a 6 seed. Today they got them at a 5 seed. Right. I'm like, they might mess around and they could get a 4 or a 3 if they keep continuing to play. Which again, like my whole thing was like it's like those like major conferences, whatever that you like on seeding wise, you don't want to be an 8 or 9 because your next matchup is against is against the 1 versus 16.
Right.
If you're not an 8 or 9, then you know what I mean. At least you can get yourself. You might get 2 games and get some momentum, and you know what I mean.
You have to face that top seed.
Right. Before face that top seed, you can kind of find a stride or whatever. It's because we always talk about like that. There's 3 seasons, right? There's the preseason, there's the regular season, and then there's this season. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's like, so now 8 or 9 is like, ooh, you'd hate to have to face a 1 in the second round, like right. I'd like, you know what I mean?
Especially
like
this year, especially
this year, because with all the 1s are just kind of like, there's not a 1 now. Again, I say all that like I don't feel like that there's a 1 that would lose that first round, but you probably thought that last year, and then you started watching FDU play, and you were just like, oh, wait a minute, like we're seeing this a little bit more common than we ever saw it before. I mean, because
that's true. That's true.
UMBC beat Virginia, and I remember watching that game, thinking to myself like, Virginia just doesn't score. Like, to me, Virginia just doesn't score the ball well enough at all that if you give any team any kind of chance to be able to try to, like, if they're going to match and they can score, it's going to be an advantage for them because they hold it, they deflate the ball, it's pass. They try to be so sound, which is fine, but it's like, because again, remember, like that very next year, I think that they played They played somebody, and it was the same thing going in.
It was the same for a good while that game.
And I was like, damn, they're about to lose, and they were 1 seed again. They're about to lose 2 years in a row like that. You know, I think they ended up winning like the last like 8 minutes of the game, but it was like for 30.
Everybody was thinking the same thing.
Wait a minute, like y'all trying to lose it again?
Yep.
So, who knows?
Nah. Well, hey, we're gonna get out of here. But before we get out of here, I'm gonna make y'all, everybody knows, because we gonna do this live on Monday. Monday show live on YouTube.
Oh boy.
Coach and I, Garnett and I, we're gonna get together. We're gonna let y'all know what time.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do it live. We're gonna go through the bracket. We both gonna make our picks. We're gonna have some fun with it. Y'all can interact with us. Y'all can tell us we don't know shit. Y'all can ask us questions. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, because then I can give everybody a tutorial on hitting the like and subscribe button. So you dumbasses can just figure out how to hit the button.
He said, well, if we just hit the, that's not.
Yeah. So we're going to do all that together. And some of y'all might have, some of y'all are going to be schooling us. So like, it's give and take.
Right. Absolutely.
So yeah, just be on the lookout for that Monday live show, YouTube. So yeah, have a good weekend, everybody. enjoy Selection Sunday, bro. That's gonna be fun.
On both sides. About
yeah. And then we'll be back at it on Monday, bro. You know,
Live.
Guess what I'm about to do?
About to go play golf?
No. I'm gonna go downstairs and check in with my wife and how this stupid last season of Love Is Blind is going.
Yes. Nothing but like trash TV to like start the Friday. It just
got me roped in.
Don't get sucked in. I did it. I watched one season and I was like, you know what? I can't. I'm not. Let me do it again. I'm blind.
I'm blind.
I'm blind.
Take my eyes.
I'm blind. Just like.
Take it. My gosh. Everybody have a good weekend. We out. Peace.